Hey, what's happening, guys? Mark back here from Mark's Aquatics. On today, I thought we'd give a little tour around the house and all the little tanks and setups that we've got, and just give you a general run through really on how it all looks and how everything's coming along. So stay tuned.
Just me and my guitar.
Okay, guys. This is the Aquascape 130 bow front Aqua 1 tank, which if you haven't seen before, you can follow back right from the start when I first set this up. And it's an interesting little build, how I created all the structure underneath to support the rocks and all that stuff. And how I planted it and all that. Anyway, I've taken most. I don't know if you saw that silly video that I did with the all the Star Wars ships, all the spaceships I had hovering around in there. Just a bit of fun that one was. I was going to take most. I have taken most of them out, but my daughter insists that the Death Star stays in there. C-3PO as well. R2-D2, some Sandmen, and a land speeder, which is down there. As you can see, the Amano shrimps have yanked all the media out from that cave. There's the culprit there. Look. Give him a telling off, C-3PO. He's a pain, that one. He keeps digging everything out. We're going to have to put a little rock in there, I think, to stop him from doing that, because I'm forever hoovering this little path to get the path back in the sand. As you can see, the girls have all buried up again. I'm not going to do anything with these now. I've got the larvae upstairs in another little saltwater tank, which I'm bringing them on. They're not doing too bad. I'll do an update on that one shortly. We've got that one there. And we got this girl here, she's full of berries as well. Oh no, she's not. I've got two in here with berries on. Oh, I see. This one's molted, so she will. You can see the eggs, you can see the ovaries there at the back, you see. Like the old saddle, but it's just, it's full of eggs in there, so she'll be depositing them shortly. So we'll have another one of those. But like I said, I'm not going to bother. Oh, there's the other one. It's that little monkey in there. Look, she's the one with eggs. And she's got eggs as well. But everything's looking great. Oh, I've been kicking the Sandmen around again. Look, the Amano shrimps absolutely love throwing these guys around. I'm forever cleaning them up. Anyway, look at the dwarf baby tears are looking really smart at the moment. Lovely and green. Flourishing away. Let's say there's no media up in amongst that rock at all. And they just keep pushing their little roots in amongst the cracks. They must be taking the minerals and getting the food from the water column with the added the food that I'm putting in this tank at the moment. But it's looking really healthy. I have to do another little trim job in here before long. This bit's letting go. The Amano shrimps like to go under these little, because this graminifolia doesn't really root that brilliantly. And I can show you around here actually. What are you doing there? My daughter again, putting things there. But you can see on the side the way it goes under the substrate, and it just doesn't root brilliantly, so they can get underneath it and they start lifting it out. Yeah, that'll give you an idea, look, of the structure and how I did it. I've got two big stones at the base, and built up with some of this JBL lava rock, and then put the JBL plant and shrimp media on the top of that. So you get a good oxygen flow through that then, and the roots will obviously release an oxygen in amongst it, so you don't get any stagnant areas in this tank. So that's a good way to set these up, I found. But yeah, very healthy little system. Looking tidy. Needs a bit of a haircut again. Right, I think what we'll do now, we'll go into... oh, that's all right. I was going to say as well, the black bar endlers are doing nicely. They've produced some nice little young ones, and we've got them in another little half ball in the shrimp room, which we'll nip in there, and we'll see that now, and I'll show you and give you an update of what's been going on in there. Okay guys, there's the entrance going into the into my little shrimp room. There's old Frankie boy down there, always after some food. Every time I come in here I make it a habit to give him a couple of little treats. And then he looks forward to me coming in to meet him then. Let's go and say hello. Where are you, Frank? Here you are, look. Ooh. He loves these little beans. I'm feeding him the koi food at the moment, some Sakiakari Balance, which he absolutely loves. Gave him a nice big water change in here yesterday. Still looking for a little girlfriend for him. Haven't found one yet, but one normally turns up. Maybe it may take some time, but they normally turn up once, you know, someone will have one and they'll just take it down one of the local shops, and I've got a matey of mine who works down there and he'll hold it back for me if it's a nice one when it comes in. And I might have to put a divider in here then to get them used to each other, and we'll try and have them, get them paired up and try and get some babies from these guys. I think I've bred them once before. They do have a lot of fry, but the trouble is I find it's really hard to get rid of the fry once you have them, and it's but he said he can sell them down there, so he'll give me a bit of credit and give me some food for it in the shop, no doubt, which is always always helpful for the hobby. I've cleaned this tank out now. I had the Amano shrimps in there, the larvae, but I've cleaned that tank out now. I wasn't having a lot of success in this tank with the Amano larvae, to be honest. I don't know why. All the conditions seem right. Salinity was right. I had the phytoplankton going in. I had a diatom phase going off in there. Everything seemed really good, but they weren't surviving for some reason. Don't know why. I've had another batch which I've got upstairs in another tank, which was an old little saltwater nano tank, and they seem to be doing a lot better up there. I've got probably about maybe 100 or 200 larvae up there, so we'll just see. They seem to be doing better. I think it's because it was more of a mature system that they went into. But this tank now, I've just put the one of these shrimp coconuts that we created in the workshop in there with the Java fern on the top. That's all full of fresh water in there now, with a new cycled filter which I've put in there, and I'll leave that for a while. But give me some ideas. What do you think I should put in there, and what do you think I should keep in there? It'd be nice to know what you guys think. Got some this is sort of not a cull tank, because I don't believe in culling anything in this in my little shrimp room. Everything's got a life. Everything should be looked after or rehomed if you can somewhere else. I know it's a bit difficult sometimes, but I do my best for them. But in here I've got a load of baby I don't know if you can see there, there's some green, I've got some green Neocaridinas in there, some wild forms which I'm bringing on, which I got recently. Up here in the F1 tank, babies everywhere. Doing really well, this tank. Here's one of the hanging gardens that we made in the workshop on the last video, which are a big hit with the shrimps. They love going up here and having a little creep around inside these. What I normally do is I'll put one of those shrimp matches we made up into one of the holes, and then it just encourages them all to go up there and have a look in there then. But we've got some lovely little babies come out. Some little wine reds we've got in there as well. We've got some blue bolts, some little shadow pandas, a couple of King Kongs. These are all from the F1s. We've got some really nice colours coming out. And they're all over the place in here. They're all over the moss. We've had a really good hatch rate, and with using the Gen Chem and all the other stuff that we use, we're keeping a lot of the babies. We're having a really good survival rate amongst the babies. I mean, there's some really tiny ones in here. But they're all looking healthy. If we go around now to the yellow Sakura tank, first of all, there's another one of the coconut hides that we built here. Pardon the glare, but this is the glariest room in the world, I swear it. But they do like these. They like creeping around on them. I fed them this morning, so there's most of them are on the bottom here. But there's hundreds of little babies in here now as well, in amongst the moss, in amongst their little shrimp hide. They love going in the hides, but they've all come out at the moment because of the food. So we can go along here. You can see there is no end of buried females. And you think 4 months ago I started off in here with 6. I had 6 in here. I took about 3, I think it was 3 or 4 buried females from my tank upstairs, one of my small nano tanks, and put them in here, and that's the result after 4 months. Which isn't too bad. Little guys are thriving. Hope all your tanks are coming on well, and you're having some results as well, and some buried up females and little hatchlings running around, little shrimplings or shrimplets. That's the other hide we made. I just like giving them a lot of different things to go and explore. Like I say, with all the holes, different bits they can go in and out. You can hide bits of food in these things, and I just like watching them trying to find it. But there's tiddlers everywhere in this tank. All looking nice. Did a water change on these yesterday. They evaporated by about 1 inch, so I just topped that up back up with RO water from that there, from the old ball valve there, which I just clipped to the side, and it'll just fill up by itself until the ball valve shuts it off, so I can just go along. And as you can see, I keep both tanks the same level. They seem to evaporate at a similar rate. So there's one of the little shrimp up there having a mooch around. There's some on the top, I think, as well on the other side. But they were good fun to make. Give that a go, guys, if you fancy it. But we've got a right little mixture of colours now on the bottom. And this was the same. You saw the unboxings that I did. I think I got, oh, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but there was quite a few. I had about 2 or 3. I think I had about 6 crystal reds. I think I had the same crystal blacks, or maybe, and I got, I'm not sure if I bought 20 F1s. But that's the result of that in 4 months. In a 2-foot square tank. And they're everywhere now. Some really nice little shrimp popping out. She's just recently let a load of babies go. Yeah, I will say, guys, when you get a lot of the babies in the tank, make sure you keep up with either Bacteria or the Gen Chem Polytays. Make sure you keep using these micro foods and stuff, because the babies do need it, and it gives them a good kickstart in life. So as soon as you start seeing your little shrimplets around, put some of that in. I mean, with this tank I put it in every other day, but only a small amount, so I just keep a small amount going, so I'm not overfeeding, I'm not polluting the tank up, but I just keep a very, very low dose going in all the time, so they can always find something to feed on. I think what we'll do now, we'll go upstairs and we'll have a look at these little half balls that we've got up here. Right, there's number 1. As you can see, I've got a female Betta in there, or Siamese fighter, my female. That's her little ball, which I've just taken the pothos plants off because I was doing a bit of work in there earlier. I was just taking some of the snails out because there was hundreds of them in there, so took some of them out and fed the pufferfish. They love those. And this is the Endler tank. Oh yeah, that's the pothos plant there. That's the other. This is where I just put all the plants in there, just for the time being. I'll put that back in there actually for her. You can see that's been in there for. That's just a cutting, but that hasn't been in there for more than maybe a couple of weeks in her tank. Sorry, but I just took it out and put it in there. But I'll put that back in there for her. And that just sticks out like that. And she likes swimming around in the roots. And it gives her a little bit more of a sense of security in there. She feels a bit happier. But she's a lovely girl, she is. But we're going to try and breed them. I've got another one in a minute. I'll show you the male. This is the tank with the baby Endlers in, with another big pothos plant in as well, to keep those nitrates down. But there's quite a few in there. What the trouble is with the Bowfront 130 in the living room, it's got a rear filtration system on it, and these are so small, and I found the females tend to go up by the grill and they were releasing them near to the grill because the males were chasing. I don't know if you know about that, but Endlers do prey on the babies as well. But as soon as they're hatched, they're chasing them, trying to eat them, especially the males. They seem to chase them all over the place trying to catch them. But I must have 25 or at least in there, it's got like a pre-filter in the back with a sponge on it. It's always got about an inch or two of water in there, so it's an ideal little place to catch these, and you just net them out from there, and then I bring them in here and put them in there. Got some dwarf swordtails on the in the substrate there, which have rooted fantastically in the bottom there. Look at that root system going through there. But we've got some nice little Endler babies in there. We can reintroduce them back into the main tank when they get a little bit bigger. Picture's not great on that, sorry. And in this ball here, here's my little dragon fighter. He's an absolutely beautiful fish, he is. Hello, mate. He's had his breakfast, so I won't feed him anymore. But that's her boyfriend there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my TDS meters off of there, and I'm going to put that ball central there. Pardon me. So they can see each other, but obviously. And you'll normally find then after a certain time they'll do their displaying through the glass at each other, and she'll get them vertical. She'll get the vertical bars on her, which shows she's ready, and she'll either fill up with eggs, or it looks like she's got eggs now, actually, to be honest. And they'll do their little bubble nest. What I normally do is I'll put an Indian almond leaf in the top, and he'll go up underneath and blow the bubbles. I mean, he's been blowing bubbles all the time. They blow bubbles constantly, the males. Even when there's no female there, it's just what they get up to. But they'll blow those then underneath the leaf and deposit the eggs. They'll fertilise them, they'll catch them, and then you'll spit them up into the eggs up into the bubbles, sorry. And then I'll take her out, put her back in a ball, and he'll look after them and make sure they're okay. But he's got a stunning reds in him. This is the tank where we had the tadpoles in earlier on in the year. And he was in another one of my tanks, and I took him out, put him in there, gave them all a water change yesterday, so they're all happy. What else can I show you when I'm here? Like I say, TDS meters there, pH meter is up there somewhere. Here's the silly shrimp matches that we made. I made the box for them. Shrimp absolutely love them. So if you get a chance, there they are, all in there, nice and dry. And you can drop them in and they love them. Got the old salinity meter up there, got my little log books up there, my big stirry spoon that glows fantastically under UV light. These are my old marine lamps, these are, but when it goes to the actinic light, to the blue light in the evening, that it literally just pops. This really does glow. So I'll never lose it in here, that's for sure. What else can I show you what I've got? I've got some, I got my, oh, I wonder where I put that tape. I've got the security camera there. These are made by Arlo. Fantastic little cameras. I can check out my tank anywhere in the world, and they're completely, you can take them off. They're just magnetic. They just stick on. You can stick them anywhere you like by these little balls, and they're magnetic, so they just stick on there, and you can angle them then whatever way you want. Log into the website. You can buy additional cameras. You can stick them all around your house, and they just take four little Duracell batteries in there, which last for about 3 months. So yeah, they're brilliant. So you can look, if you go on holiday, you can keep an eye on things. I normally leave a message with my neighbour to say when we're going away, and I'll look, and if anything happens, I'll just give her a ring, and she's always got a key to the house, so she can come in and sort things out, so I don't have anything crazy happening while I go away. Got some planaria up there. I bought some just in case. I haven't actually got plenty planaria in the system, so I'm quite lucky there. Indian almond leaves, tank scrubbers. I got some of these chips I got sent with one of my shrimp unboxings. These came free, and that was nice of the chaps to send me those as well. They actually do like them. They're quite fond of those. I've got all those various nets, scrapers for the old windows, pumps. What have I got here? Heaters, more titanium heater there. These are brilliant, these guys. If you ever get I'll show you one of these. My wife actually works in a medical so in a hospital, and so I'm quite lucky. I don't know. Well, you know, there's that shrimp acclimator we made. I don't know if you ever saw that video. If you're unsure with that one, go back. That just clips out. These are crazy little straws. Easier to just go and watch the video, to be honest, but they just clip on the tank there. Normally I put an air stone in the end, but I use that for another project, so that goes straight in there, and then you just drip acclimate, you put a valve on the end. But it's all on that video if you want to see it. But these are even better. These are proper human drips that they use in the hospital for you guys, and for us. And they got like a little clutch on them there for all different bits and bobs on there, and they've got good length of pipe, and it comes down to the main dripper there. And these are fabulous because they've got a very sharp spike on the end, so if you've got to want to drip acclimate anything and you've got, say, a 25 gallon litre bucket, or something that you want to use, you can literally just shove that. They're so strong, the plastic, or drill a small pilot hole, shove that up into it. That's what they do into the saline bags in the hospitals. They shove them up in there, drips through there. Obviously you see the drip like you do on the TV, or if you're familiar with them, and it goes down to there, goes down to there. You've got your drip regulation there as well. But these are absolutely fantastic for drip acclimators if you can get hold of them. And you've got all these gadgets on here. Obviously that there, you put a syringe in there, you can put, I don't know, they do all sorts with them, but they're really handy gadgets to get hold of if you can get hold of one of those. I've got a couple of those which I use. I know it's not going to be accessible to everybody, but let me put that back up there. So yeah, so these little shrimp, all the shrimps are doing really well in here. Everyone's happy. We can go back and give you a better shot of the shrimp room itself. But it's all coming on. I'm going to upgrade the airline system in here as well at some point, because I've got it all down the bottom there and it's an absolute curse to get to it. So I'm going to change it all around, and we're going to run some pipe work around here, and I'm going to have the airlines coming out for the filters into the tanks, and obviously down the bottom there I can run them from the main pump itself underneath. Just got a one of these big pumps under there that runs the whole fish room, the whole shrimp room, sorry. And we'll put something in. I'm going to do something a bit different there with the airline, so stay tuned for that one. Yeah, just really happy the way everything's going at the moment. Yeah, these lights are made by Aqua Illuminations, AI sols. You can get all different types now. These are quite old units, but they were really expensive when I first got them. This is when I was running my 8-foot reef tank. I had them on there, and they're completely controllable. You can control them here from that, and they're all linked. So I got one there, and I got one up there with Mr. Shrimp on the top, and we've got one under there which we fitted under there for this one, and they're all linked together. So when they come back to this little computer here, you can adjust the timer on there, and you can have them all up, running up and down. So they ramp up in the mornings from, you know, first thing in the morning you get a very low actinic light blue light, and then as the hour progresses it gets brighter and goes up to the percentage that I want it to, and then that's on the royal blue. And then the blues, I don't know if you can see, but you've got blue, and you've got royal blue, and you've got white. So basically they all come up within an hour of each other, ramp up slowly over half an hour I think it is, to the top there, percentage where I want to run them. Next one comes up, next one comes up, and then they stay on for the hours I've got them programmed for. And then at the end of the day they just reverse themselves and go, the white goes first, then the blue goes, then the royal blue, down to a very faint blue light, and then they go out. So you haven't got a big switch going, you know, on and off quickly, which can spook the shrimps, give them a little jump. But with that you haven't got that problem at all. But like I say, you can pick these up now quite cheap, to be honest. If you look on eBay, these are the old ones. I mean, the new ones now, they're still about 500 quid a pop. Each one of these is about £400 or £500. But you can pick these guys up now for I I think about probably under £100 now, to be honest with you. And if you're lucky, you might get one of these. This is the old style controller, which I've got there. And if I can find it, and that's the newer type controller. Had a bit of a muck around with that one. That one decided to come off the Velcro one night and go straight into one of the tanks. So that's a little bit knackered, that one. So I'm going to have to get that either sent away just as a backup. The lights will run without these. They will run without those. But the only thing is then you haven't got that controllability like you would have with it. So you put them on and they go from 0% to 100% on each one of these LEDs. But when you haven't got the controller, they will all come on at 100%, and you can quite easily torch your plants because they really have a high par rating. So I think I've got these running on like 25%, 25% and 70% I think at the moment, for because all the plants that we've got in here are not really like demanding. So that's good for those. And up in the top there, I've got this funky little light as well, which is which I put on. That comes on an hour a day, and that's a whoa, it's like a spaceship up there. But it's actually got 3 blue LEDs which don't show up. Oh, you see, the camera doesn't like that at all. And the rest of them are red. It's the red spectrum, which is brilliant for the plants. So as you can see, that's the sort of effect that it puts out, and it looks like I'm on fire, doesn't it? But yeah, I'll leave that on for an hour a day, and that does the plants good. I'll turn that off again. But everything's looking nice. Like I say, I hope you guys are having success with your tanks. Drop me a message if you are. What I'm going to do with this little ball here, this is what I normally put my my leaves in. I've got all sorts in here at the moment. I've got whoops, trying to remember the name of it now. It's a mangrove, that is. That's a baby mangrove seed, like the one I've got in the corner there. That's growing nicely now. I know they're more of a briny, sort of brackishy water they like. You know, estuaries and stuff like that, where the sea comes in and out, and it's a bit of a mix up, but they do live there. I mean, that one's doing really well. It's put out some nice leaves now. So that should root into the ground. Well, it has rooted into the ground. You see the big roots down there going under the substrate. A few alder cones there for when I need one. I just snap one off. But I've got some more little pothos plants in there. I don't think you've got anything else in there at the moment. I did have some Indian almond leaves in there, but I'm going to clean that out, I think, because I've got another little tub up there which I use for my Indian almond leaves. I'll put them in there. It's something I made up ages ago, which was like a little pot. I put that in my marine tank. You can see it's still got the coralline algae all over it. I put a rock in there. I'd add a little funnel in there because I had this pest crab inside my system, and he used to come out of a night time and he used to wreck the joint. He used to pull all the rocks apart. His crabs are like, they got like little hydraulics. They're so strong, and I used to set that in there, and that caught him. I had him in there. Ex-fisherman, see? I thought, I'll have you. No lobster or crabs safe. I used to get them all. Got a little toty thing there with the a little tub, which is great. I got these off eBay as well. These are fantastic little things for acclimation. Just draw a hole in the top there. I used to use these for a 3-part doser for my for the marine tank. I had 3 of those, and I had a doser running off there for my all the calcium and strontium and all the things that I used to supplement into the reef tank. More nets, hats. What else we got? Oh yeah, we got the little bottle up there for which I use my Gen Chem in. Pair of tweezers, more nets, big roll of that stuff. The old airline, you can't beat that. You always need some of that. I'll tell you what, if you're into this game, buy a little roll. It's cheaper to buy it in a big roll, and then you've always got some. Yep, I think we'll shoot off into the koi room now, and we'll have a look in there. Another little hack I found. is if you go to the shops, you can go to these pound stretchers and Poundland, all these different places, Home Bargains. If you're in the UK, you're bound to have these shops wherever you live in the world, in the US or wherever, and you can buy them. And I can buy, if you go into your pet shops, Walmart, PetSmart if you're in the US, or Pets at Home if you're in the UK, they charge you an absolute fortune for these dried mealworms. But if you go into these pound stretchers places, I'll just show you now. Bear with me. You can pick up that, and that's a big tub compared to my hands there. Look, you've got I'll find it now. There's 400 grams, look. And they give it for the birds. It's completely 100%, like you say, natural on there. They're just dehydrated worms, but I paid £4 for that. £4, I think it's $3.99 or whatever for that big tub there, which has filled that up. You go into the shops, you're buying 100 grams for that nearly. It's absolutely ridiculous. And there was a small sack I saw down in one of my local shops, 70 quid. £70 for I don't know how much it was, but it wasn't that much, to be honest. Maybe a kilo or something, or a couple of kilos, 70 quid. I was like, look, my goodness, that's so expensive for people. But buying it this way, you can buy them, and it's really high in protein and really good for your koi. Don't feed them loads of it. I always say more in the summer when the water's warm. You can throw them, and they absolutely go nuts for them. And but yeah, don't get stung by these high prices. Shop around a bit, and that's what I started to do. And you might probably find them online as well. It's just I came across these, and I've been using them ever since. You can buy little bags of them for a 50p pound. And if you've got a small pond with small goldfish, you can exactly the same. Even tropical fish will take them as well. Very good for them as well, but obviously not too much. It's another cheaper way of buying food. But these guys are nice and healthy now. Really got over that smoke that went in the shed, and came in here. We lost 5 that night. Well, not that night, but the next couple of days, which was pretty upsetting. It really was. Like I said, I've had them since they were tiny. So, and some of these bigger ones, which I just inherited from a friend, they're looking a bit perkier now. One of them had swim bladder problems. Old big mama down there, but she seems to be on the mend now. She's up feeding, which is brilliant news. What it was is they came from a heated pond, and then we put them in here, and he had to shut his pond down as ASAP, so he just brought them down here. But he did turn his heater off. Yeah, look at that little monkey there, look. You get away from my fish. I don't think this one's much problem. He's gone already. Look, he's just seen me. He normally gets the hose pipe on him. But the yeah, it's always upsetting losing fish. But like I say, he turned his heater off, but it was only for a couple of days, so only dropped a couple of degrees, but he had it quite warm. And I think that was the trouble. I think going from cold to warm is nowhere near as bad as going from warm to cold. The other way around really does shock them. You've really got to drop that temperature slowly, otherwise you'll shock them and they could end up with shakes and all different types of ailments wrong with these poor little fellas. So you've got to be gentle with them. Even with big fish like this, they'll hello, but they're really picking up. Anyway guys, I think we'll leave it on that note there. They're all looking happy and healthy, and they finished off their bit of food. I won't give them any more of that today. I'll give them something else later on, maybe a bit of lettuce or half an orange. Chuck half an orange in there, and they play football with that all around the pond. It's quite amusing watching that, because they can't get hold of it. But it keeps them active, burning off some calories. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that today, guys. Like I say, I hit 200 subs. You're all magic. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel and giving me all the love and support that you've been giving me over the last 4 months to get me to where I am. Hope more of you subscribe to the channel and share what I'm doing, so other people can pick up these little handy hints and tips and share them around, and save yourself some money. Hopefully that's half of what my channel's about, saving you guys some money. and making the hobby a bit more accessible to people and having fun in the process. So look after yourselves, guys. You're all stars. I love you loads. Be safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.